Palworld is hiding something. Located on the edges of the map, there are 3 very mysteriously shaped, seemingly man-made islands. Upon visiting each of these islands, you will notice that they're all claiming to be sanctuaries. However, when you look around, you won't see a single blade of grass. You won't see a single tree that's not dead. You'll see carcasses of giant pals littered across the landscape. And the only thing you will see that shows any sign of life aside from the pals are little red beautiful flowers. Now, what originally led me to come to these islands was because I was trying to look for Petalia in order to get these red flowers because Petalia drops them. So I decided to go to my pal deck and find out where Petalia might be. And guess what? Petalia is only found at sanctuary number 1. Which I find very interesting because as many times as I've visited it, I've never seen Petalia once. And also some of the little yellow spawn circles aren't on the rocky terrain, but they're on the man-made structures, which I know for a fact the pals cannot spawn on, which got me thinking, maybe it's not on the man-made structure, but inside of it. You'll notice that the entire man-made portions, the metal parts, they grow through the rocks and they start kind of at the back and move forward almost as if it's built into the landscape itself. And then if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll notice almost a door at the bottom. After my discovery about Petalia, I visited the island and I noticed that only boss pals spawn on the island. But the boss pals that spawn on the island are typically slightly lower level than their true boss counterparts. Almost as if they're still growing. Almost as if they're just babies or an adolescent version of their true form. The reason I think this might be is because I think that these facilities are actually for experimenting on and breeding different powerful pals with the goal to create even more powerful pals. Now, isn't it interesting that it claims to be a sanctuary, but it looks more like a prison for pals, and the only sign of life are the beautiful flowers, which are actually used in medicine. So perhaps if you're performing a bunch of experiments, you need to try to keep them healthy somehow so they don't end up like the failed experiments that turned into these massive carcasses. So my entire theory about these islands that claim to be sanctuaries but look like nothing of the sort is that they are experimenting on and breeding powerful pals to create even more powerful pals. And this is how Palworld will introduce new bosses in future updates. To take this theory a little bit further, I genuinely believe that these doors here at the bottom are going to open up and all of their powerful experiments are going to flood out and escape. And then different bosses will appear across the map after escaping and going to their desired location. But to add to this, I believe that if those doors open or are broken open by the experiments, that each of the sanctuaries will then turn into a dungeon that you can enter. But it's not going to be a dungeon for pals. It will be a PIDF dungeon. So you can go in there and you can try to find out the secrets about the PAL Island Defense Force and what they're up to. How come when I go to the island, it says I'm committing a crime just by being there? Why can't I be there? What are you hiding? Why do you only have incredibly powerful pals here? Why do you claim to be a sanctuary when there's not a single blade of grass, not a single leaf on a tree, not a single puddle of water? And why is this the only place that I can find beautiful flowers naturally growing that are needed for medicine for these pals? What is the PAL Island Defense Force hiding in there? There's a lot of things that don't add up about these islands. Let me know in the comments what you think Palworld is up to, and be sure to subscribe for more Palworld content.